hope you're all good. We'll be continuing with BSS N6. I'll be doing Bowditch Rule. This is continuation of part 1, so this is part 2. However, I will go back nyana so that you can understand, so that you will not get lost, okay? So, our Bowditch Rule, we have been given this table. They say the data below is from a traverse PQRST. Calculate the coordinates of Q, R, and S. Adjustments must be made according to the Bowditch rule. So we have these two tables there, the coordinates table and also the one that has direction and the distance. So what you are going to do first is to record the data. What do I mean by record the data? You're going to fill in the table. So sometimes you might find the table completely empty. Sometimes they'll have recorded the data for you, and then you will have to continue. So now our first step is to record the data. I've already did some parts there, and then I'll do other parts with you. So as you can see, we have coordinate P and T. These are our Y's and these are our X. So I'll go and record there because I haven't recorded on the table. And then we have the direction. So this is PQRST. We have P, we have Q, we have R, we have T. So this is the direction for P, this is the distance for P. The direction for Q, this is the direction for Q and the distance for Q. The direction for S and the distance for S and for R, and then the direction for S and the distance for S. So we have direction, distance, direction, distance, direction, distance for every traverse. We also have coordinates, which are P and T. We have the Y and X coordinates. So let us dive into it. So we've been given that our Y coordinate from the table, we were given P and T coordinates, right? So here on Y and X, I'll come here and record. So I have P there, which is positive 790,82. And then I have Y, the value of Y for T. So it is positive 148,28. And then for my X, I am given negative 973. So it's negative 973,84. And I've also been given, another thing, they made a mistake here on the table. It is not negative 973,84. We see the corrected error when they are doing the solution. So it is negative 611,25. That is our X value. So that is the first thing that you do. You transfer the data from the given table and to this one, okay? So you do not just write the coordinates anywhere. You can't write these coordinates on R or on Q. They gave you the P and T coordinates. So ensure that you transfer very well, okay? So even here, they had not done anything. So you need to do it if they will not do it for you. So it is PQRST. They gave us the traverses. They said it's PQRST. Hence, I've written PQRST. So you're going to write the first letter, you write the direction and the distance. I have the direction here. They gave it to us. Again, this is P. We have the direction there and then the distance. Q, we have the direction and then the distance. So it's direction, this is direction. You're going to start with direction and then distance, direction, distance. So it is P, which is the letter, direction, distance, you skip a line. Q, direction, distance, you skip a line. R, direction, distance, you skip a line. S, direction, distance, you skip a line. For T, they did not give us any direction or distance. However, they gave us Y and X coordinates. So what is our next step? Our next step is to find the change in Y. How do we find the change in Y? We say the distance times sine direction. For us to get the change in Y, we're going to say it is distance times sine direction. So it means we're going to calculate change in Y for each and every traverse. We're going to start with the letter P. So change in Y of P is equal to the distance. What is our distance there? It is 202,54. And then sine our direction, it is 340, 3750. What do we get? Let me calculate first. So it is 202,54 sine 340 degrees, 37 minutes 50 seconds. I got negative 67,17. So I'll come and write my negative 67,17, negative 67,17. 17 there. Okay, so I'll just write the rest and then resume. Okay, let us continue. I found the change in y for p. The formula is distance, sign, direction. So the distance is 202,54, sign, the direction is 240, 3750. So I got the answer is negative 67,17. And then for changing y at q, it is going to be distance, sign, direction. So it's the same formula. For you to get change in y, it is going to be distance, sign, the direction. So for q, it is the distance. What is the distance for q? 341,33. And then sign, what is the direction? Is 251, 90. So there's my answer. It is negative 323,16. So the change in y at r is going to be distance, sign, direction. What did I get? It is 2, 8. It is negative 287,32. And then for s, I got positive 38,80. So the same formula applies distance, sign, direction. So it's distance, sign, the direction, distance, sign, direction, distance, sign, direction, distance, sign, direction. Okay, now let us move to changing y. Changing y is the same formula except here x sign, you replace it with cos when you want the change in x. So here is the formula for changing x. Distance, cos, the direction. What is the distance for p? 202,54. Cos, our direction is 340, 3750. So we got 191, positive 191, 08. So it's positive 191,08. Is it positive 191,08? So let's do the rest. Changing x and q, it is the distance. What is our distance? 298,60, and then cos 285,48. 00. Don't forget, for changing x, it is distance, cos. You use cos, and then for changing y, it is sine. So here it is distance, cos, our direction. Okay, so you can do the rest. So there is our change in x. Change in x for p is 202,54 cos 340, 3750. We'll get positive 191,08. Don't forget to write the signs. And then change in x, this is for q. So for q, the distance is 341,33 cos, the direction is 251, 1319. We do the same thing for the rest. It is distance, cos, direction for changing x. And then I got for p, where is p? 191,8 negative 109,08. No, is it 88? Yeah, 88. Positive 81, 30, and positive 214,54. So that is how we do our changing y and changing x. So now let us move, okay? Before we can go to y and x, let us get the distance, total distance. We need to get the total distance. Total distance, it means we're going to add the distances. We add the distances. We need the sum of the distances. So let us add what we get. So now that we have gotten the total distance, we can now go to our y and x column. So here on the y and x column, what you do, you're going to say bottom minus top. So bottom it is 148,28 minus the top one, which is 792,82. What do you get? There is my total distance, 1061,24, and then when you go to the column y and x, it's going to be bottom minus top. Bottom, this is bottom, the t coordinate minus the p coordinate, the t coordinate minus the p coordinate. So it is bottom minus top, and then this is what I got, this is what I got. After getting that, you need to get the sum of changing y and also the sum of changing x. So after getting the total of changing y, you're going to say y, this is your y, this is your y. I'm going to say y minus the total of the changing y. So our y is negative 642,54, and then what is our change in y? Let me check. Okay, so now you need to get the total of change in y, which is for this column. Get the total. You will write it here. You will write the total here, and then You also need the total of y. This is the total of y. So this is going to be the total of change in y, and then underneath you will write the total of y. So it's going to be bottom minus top. Again, the total of y will be at the bottom, and then the total of change in y will be at the top. So I'm going to say the bottom one minus the top. You will write your answer there, and then you can calculate. And I'll just take the answer here. 6, negative 6, 3, 8, comma 8, 5, and then minus 6, 4, 2, comma 5, 4. The answers are incorrect, okay? Just bear with me. You calculate on your own and then get the answers. I'm just showing you the procedures. So negative 638, comma 85 is the total of change in y, and then this is the y that you got. So it's going to be bottom minus the top one. You're going to take this one, the y, minus the change in y. So it's y minus change in y, and then you get negative 6, comma 67. You also do the same for the change in x. You're going to get the total of change in x, which is positive 377,79, and then you subtract the y, I mean the x, which is 362,59. Also here it's going to be bottom minus top. So this is the total for change in x, and then this is the total for x. So it's x minus change in y. X minus change in y. And then we need to get the misclosure. We need to get the answers that we will write here, here, and there. So how do we get those answers? You're going to say correction is equal to the misclosure and then divide by the total distance multiplied by the distance. Your misclosure is the answer that you will get here. There is going to be misclosure for y. There's also going to be misclosure for x. So misclosure for y, you're going to take the answer that you got here on changing y, which is negative 6,67. And then our total distance is 1061,24 divided by 1061,24 multiplied by the distance. So this is the correction for P. We're going to need the correction for PQRS. Yeah, for PQRS. So for P, it is the misclosure, which is negative 6,67, divided by the total distance, which is this one, multiplied by the distance at P, which is 202,54. Multiplied by 202,54. You will get your answer. This answer that you get here, you're going to write it there under changing y. And then you do the same thing for x. The answer that you will get here, again, the answer that you will get here is your misclosure. So you're going to put it here. So let's just say this will be our x. You're going to put the answer here and then divided by the total distance, which is 1061,24 multiplied by the distance. If it is for P, you're going to use the distance for P. If it is for Q, you're going to use the distance for Q. For R, we do the same thing. So yeah, we're done.